showtime!
It's fireworks!
Alright people, we got mad stuff to go through. Like, I really don't know how long this video is going to end up being, but let's start off pretty light. If you missed out on this Demoniacal Fit Legendary Berserker figure, it is now available. This was on March 25th, so as of March 25th, this has been available. One site I know to get it from, and I've heard very good things about this site so far. Let me not say very good things, you know? They didn't like be like, oh, this is the best site ever, but they was like, you know, they're trustworthy. Hobby Model Store had this in stock last time I checked. It was $69.99, and you're gonna have to include, you know, shipping and handling, and because, you know, for us US peeps, the tariffs have gone up on these imports and things of that nature, so you know, keep that in mind when you're buying your imports now, your third party, and even some of the other stuff, you know. All the shipping and handling about to go up crazy. But you know, we're not here to talk about real world stuff. We're here to talk about figures. So on to the next thing. Alright, people, let's get into the talk of the town. Now, I know I'm late with this, and I guess I did see when it first went up for pre-order and everything. I even put it in a community post on the channel. But this figure is the talk of the town. Now, why is this figure the talk of the town? First of all, obviously, an updated Perfect Cell. We've been waiting forever from official, and I still think all that stuff that's popular it's coming. Just don't worry about it, it's coming. It's just a matter of when, you know. Right now we're in Diamond Wonderland, but I don't want to. I'll save that for an official talk, you know, as because they just revealed that nail, so that kind of talk will be saved for that video. Either way, Perfect Cell by RR Studios, the talk of the town. Of course, another reason is because it's a brand new studio. We don't know anything about the studio, and these are just renders, so we don't know how good or bad this figure will be. It could be phenomenal. It could be terrible. We don't know. They're the new kid on the block. As for accessories, you can see comes with the, you know, interchangeable crown pieces. I'll call it that for the duration of the video because that's the best, most equivalent thing that it looks like. I guess you could say horns, but I'm gonna go with crown. It comes with his arms crossed, of course, the part of his tail that spits out the Cell Juniors, and yo, I ain't gonna lie, I don't mess with any of these faces that this figure comes with besides the default one. I guess you could say some of these faces are for like when Gohan used the counter Kamehameha. I called it counter Kamehameha, but basically he deflected Cell's Kamehameha with his own and had him looking crazy afterwards. I guess you could say one of these faces is for that when the Kamehameha is about to swallow him. Pause, if necessary. But yeah, I don't mess with these faces at all. They don't look good to me at all. Mad goofy. But I guess it could be, you know, the silver lining. I guess if you want to make a goofy scene with Cell, you got 6 goofy ass faces. So there you have it. And this is the anime colors, by the way. Of course, we have the manga colors. And by the way, so there's a couple of websites that still have this up for pre-order, and the pre-order's not sold out. I noticed a lot of people took to the manga colors more. So the manga one is going to be the chase figure. It's going to be that one that's more highly sought after. And, you know, just looking at this figure just now, like I saw it in a previous picture, but I guess I'll mention it now. It has the indentation on the back of the thigh. I wonder if that's meant for more articulation. The only figure I saw like that is the Enter the Spider-Verse Peter B. Parker figure. But either way, yeah, goofy faces, of course, different color because it's the manga version. And yeah. So those are the 2 standard versions. Now we have the deluxe versions. Now, as you can see, the deluxe version, the deluxe version comes with more faces, more goofy faces, might I add. Looks like it's about the same amount of hands. Of course, a ton of different crowns. I'm assuming so it could fit those faces. Of course, you got the battle damage wings, the battle damage legs, and you know this is a nice little upgrade, I would say, for a deluxe version. I'm sure this is probably going to be the chase version. I'm sure people are going to get at least 2 of these, or 4. Like one regular version for each, and then 1 battle damage version for each color. But it looks good. Like, the battle damage looks good. Like I said, the biggest thing I hate about this figure is those faces. Ugly. Same thing with the manga color versions. Not more to say about that now. This being a kit is so annoying. Because these faces become... I can't even talk. Y'all heard that shit? But these faces right here should be coming with the figure. Why is it not coming with the figure? Or maybe it is, and I'm like yelling for no reason. But hey, in these pictures, this is basically supposed to be showing what the figure's coming with. So I don't know. I'm assuming this is a kit, and that's super annoying. The faces actually look much better here. Some of them, you know, still look off, but definitely better than that shit, that bullshit that it's coming with. And here's a look. Two goofy faces right there at the bottom. Not two, you know, standard Cell faces that are not goofy. Now, of course, somebody probably gonna get me in the comments like, oh, I could be used for this. Well, I didn't think of that, and they still look goofy. I don't care. But you know, you can always find a use for something. There's always a silver lining. But on to the next thing. So up next, we have Senior Monster from KW Studio. Now, what are the odds that two separate third parties want to reveal Perfect Cell at the same time? Interesting, I'll say. I wouldn't be surprised if we were getting something Perfect Cell related from Official. It could be a second form cell, which would be perfect since they're re-releasing the first form cell. I saw in one of their posts recently. It could be... Who else would Perfect Cell go with? Oh, he could go with mad people. He'd go with Super Vegeta, Ultra Trunks, Super Saiyan 2 Gohan, Full Power Super Saiyan 2 Goku. An updated version to it, at least. It's a decent amount of characters that it could be. Now, this is just my speculation. Now, that being said, KW Studio, they already have, what do you call it, Cell Juniors up for pre-order anyways. So I guess this move makes sense from them. But I just think it's funny that they revealed it at the same time as that new studio on the block. Now, we're going to look at some extra pictures from Hobby Model Store. And then we're gonna close this section out, and it's still so much stuff. Oh man, let me just get to it. So here's supposed to be another look at that Perfect Cell, at least KW Studios Perfect Cell. So for those that may have missed out, here's a second opportunity. Now we ultimately really don't know how this is gonna truly look. Of course, that is another picture of it. Like, we would need to see more. I think we need more data. You know, we need more data. We can't really say definitively, which I think a lot of people, just from what I'm seeing here, I don't know. I was gonna say a lot of people might gravitate towards the other one, but we need to see this one fully done to really come to like a good conclusion. And of course, there you have the Cell Junior in the background, looking terrified and whatnot of his papa. But that being said, two third-party studios doing Perfect Cell. Crazy. On to the next thing. Yes, you heard it right. Neo Kong. What's next? Yo, we finally reached a point in third party, and I guess this was here before, but this third party got a name to it. We finally reached a point where a third party is just straight up copying another third party. I mean, this is not the first time this has happened, but this is funny that they even went through the trouble of saying Neo Kong, even though they're not Kong Studio anymore. But a copy of a copy of a copy, like that motherfucker from that movie Barbarian when he was describing how that creature in the basement was created. A copy of a copy of a copy. That's where we at. But that being said, let me zoom into this real quick. I just wanted y'all to see the picture. I want to zoom in to what they're saying. Neo Kong, quote unquote, is saying they're going to do with this, and we're going to talk about them a little bit later as well. But box part, optimized anti-penetration position of clothing without affecting mobility. So I guess they're saying that they're going to put the clothing on, or they're going to make it a softer material or something. They're going to do something to make it sure that the clothing doesn't affect the articulation. However they do that. The shoulder is modified into a stretchable structure that hides the butterfly shoulder, strengthening the joint stability and increasing the stretchable range of motion. Color adjustments of finished clothes. And by the way, we're on BirdCG's page if I didn't say that already. A color scheme. Choose one of 6 color schemes provided by the player in the development group. The remaining color schemes will be used in subsequent extended products, such as color screen of the theater version / original illustration version. Oh, okay. So, alright. Other variant colors will be at a later date as some type of special edition, I'm guessing. But either way, adding a spraying process that was not in the original mold, changing the molded plastic color to a light and dark shadow effect. Option 1, semi-gloss plus effect paint. Option 2, 40% semi-matte plus effect paint. Some fixed parts of Kong prototype force have been modified into horizontal, rotating, movable structures to facilitate players to pose more natural and attractive movements. So basically they saying they upgrading the body by way of the articulation. Now how much is upgraded, we'll see, but this is not all. Here's some more like prototype looks at, you know, Neo Kong as they're calling themselves, and here's another look at some of the stuff that they said they're going to be upgrading. Now number 4 is pretty interesting, just off the strength that it's at the top of the boot. So are they suggesting a boot swivel? That'll be new to Dragon Ball figures, which is actually very surprising to say considering how long this line has been going. But either way, more pictures. Now here's the first colored picture, and I'll say this, it looks fine. My biggest thing is how shiny those pants are. Like, yeah, has it kind of looking on the cheaper side of the game, you feel me? But that being said, let's look at the response. And yes, there was a response to this. So out of nowhere yesterday, we got this announcement. Now look at the studio, Red Bolt Studio X Lionheart Studio. Now we never heard of Lionheart Studio, but you know, using these different mythology, these animal guys from these different mythologies has been a hallmark of who? I'm not gonna say it out loud, but you know who. But and also Red Bolt Studio typically works with who? This time I'll say it. Either beast deities or anime mythos. So I was like, okay, when I saw the reveal, I was like, okay, are they gonna re-release Goku Black? But I was like, no, this says Amit, the eater of the dead. But so Beck is the god that Goku Black from Dragon Ball Heroes was released as. That's the animal god it was released as. So I was like, alright, so what could this be? Is this gonna be like another tease for announcement? Because we have a whole lot to go through with anime mythos, and we'll get to that later. But Red Bolt Studio X Lionheart Studio. So I was like, alright, cool. So then we see this. The pre-orders open today at 4 p.m. PST, Pacific Standard Time. Now, I don't got the time on hand, but I'm gonna take this other phone that I have and quickly search it. 4 p.m. PST. I should know this stuff. To East Coast. Okay, 7 p.m. my time. So if you're on the East Coast, this is 7 p.m. our time right here. But this is the pre-order that's going up. Now, if you look at it, this is basically the Super Saiyan 3 Goku and Super Saiyan 3 Vegito. That was been released. And it is being re-released again. So if you missed out on this and you want like a Goku with an intact gi, here you are. Like, this is quite clearly a response to the Neo Kong studio. And just so y'all know, these are not the same company. I'm going to show you something that's kind of funny. I found it amusing, at least. So a subscriber sent this to me. And they asked a question that a lot of people had. Is this Neo Kong? It had nothing to do with that recast clown. Now, I find this funny because, like, Beast Deities is a third party. Now, to be fair, 5K Toys is not Beast Deities, but That's a funny reaction to have when you work with third party who don't have the official license to make stuff anyways. And before, when what you call it, when homie was complaining about Worm Studio taking the Super Saiyan head sculpt, they was like, yo, we don't care. But I guess it's because they know Kong, and they know for a fact that Kong didn't authorize it, where before they didn't know who really had the sculpt first. So I don't know. But I still think it's kind of a funny reaction to have. But that does confirm that this is basically not Neo Kong. Fake Kong, we'll call him for now. Fake Kong, and that real Kong basically got on that and is basically trying to undercut that. Because like I said, the pre-orders go up today, April 1st. I was about to say April 1st, April 4th. So I'll have that link in the description, and also I'll make a community post once those go live, because I'm sure a lot of people would really like to get those figures if you don't already have them. And you know, secondary market prices could be brutal, so there's that. I just wonder how these guys, like them re-releasing this, is going to compete with the so-called upgrades that Fake Kong is going to do, you know? But with that being said, let's move on to the next thing. So for all my fajita fans, y'all are about to eat, because this particular drop by Black Hole Toys, you're getting a 2.0 Scouter Vegeta, which we haven't seen released in eons, like the original release. Then a battle damage version with their particular head sculpt. So this is all coming in one thing. I'm very curious. I don't know why didn't they do more faces for I guess 3 faces altogether for the battle damage version, 4 faces altogether for the OG head sculpt version. But either way, this is like a nice re-release, I would say, for all the people that missed out on Scouter Vegeta. Yeah, there's not a whole lot to say about this besides, like, you know, this is something that Black Hole had promised, and they're finally getting around to it, and they're giving you a little bit more than I would think they usually would, you know? That's pretty cool. Now here's a better look at it with all, you know, all the pretty lighting and everything. Yeah, I don't have a whole lot to say about this besides, yeah, I think this will be a dope release, especially considering that, once again, Black Hole Toys and Demoniacal Fit, they definitely be on point with the price points. So this is definitely, I could see, if people only picking it up for the head sculpt, I could see it. But on to the next Vegeta. So sticking with Vegeta, switching the company, we have SR.CHAN. Now, who is SR.CHAN? I don't know, but it says it's by them, and here we have their rendition, brand new sculpt work, pretty much entirely new figure with the Super Saiyan God Vegeta. This is supposed to be based off the first appearance in the manga. That's why, you know, he's so slender. And this looks like it could be promising. I like the new sculpt work. If you're gonna keep the, you know, old tech, sometimes new sculpt work does go a long way in sprucing it up, you know. Let's see how it turns out. We'll see. As more updates come, I'll keep you guys updated on this. But very interesting to see. Here's a better look at it, and, you know, full color and whatnot. And of course, here's a closer look at the head sculpt, and it looks dope. Like, you know, I've seen the faces are like fine. Like, I was gonna say I've seen better, which I have, but this is actually really solid. This is pretty good, you know, especially the looking off to the side face in a bottom row. The one that on your right. The one that's not under the face with the hair. Well, on to the next thing. Redo. Once again, sticking with Fajita, we have the RE Custom, I would say early Android Saga, or first appearance Super Saiyan Vegeta head sculpt. And RE Custom is usually pretty on point. Great, fantastic, I would even say, with, you know, different eras and art styles for the head sculpts. But, you know, I would say just sometimes the faces aren't varied enough. That would be my biggest complaint with RE Customs. But here is a look at it. Now, one thing about RE Customs as well, if y'all want to go follow this person on Instagram or this brand, absolutely do so. But just know, RE Customs be leaving some stuff up and this happens with third party in general, but RE Custom is like probably one of the worst offenders of it. Will post something, leave that shit up for like 45 minutes, and then before you know it, you're like, yo, I swear I saw a brand new Vegeta head. Where's it at? Where's it at? They took that shit down. They left it up for an hour and they good for putting something up for like 45 minutes, an hour, and then taking it down. Like, you just gotta turn your notifications on for their particular posts. But yeah, here's, you know, once again, like, these faces look great. The issue is one is looking down and one is looking at us. It's awesome. But it's like, damn, bro. Like, more of a, you know, maybe him getting snuffed or something. I don't know. Straight face, of course, that's always going to be standard. You know, it is what it is there. And of course, a zoomed out look at it. But, you know, RE Customs, what can I say? Like, looks great. Definitely looks dope for a first appearance. Super Saiyan Vegeta for that art style back then. But continuing on with RE Customs. So here's another thing, yo. I can't even remember if I covered this in the last video. I really can't. But Gohan Beast head sculpt from Lao Lai, aka RE Customs or Re-Customs. Hey, yo, you know what I noticed? I be adding an S onto that name and other studio names like all the time. And it's like, yo, there's no S at the end of that name. It's RE Custom, not Customs. But I don't know why I do that. Y'all do that shit? Either way. This is kind of like a day late and a dollar short type of thing. The faces look phenomenal. The hair is fine, I guess. It looks well sculpted. It's just, I don't care for this particular stylization of the Gohan Beast hair, you know? But it looks great. Like, it's well done, you know? Faces look great. And funny enough, I was just talking crap about how I don't come with enough faces with RE Customs, and here we have this. But also at the same time, you know, you gotta have the looking off to the side face yelling, the looking forward face yelling, red and teeth face, okay, slightly surprised face, eyes closed face. That's more like an Ultra Instinct face. I don't really see that man close his eyes like that. But either way, I'm not gonna go through all the faces. Y'all see it. Once again, I'll keep, you know, updates on this particular head sculpt. I'm almost certain it'll be available on OmniMateStore.com whenever it goes online, because that's RE Custom, you know, partner in crime right over there. But leaving RE Customs, but keeping up with Gohan. Now we're on to HM Studio, and HM Studio does phenomenal head sculpts. It's just a matter of them actually dropping. But these seem to be very far along. Like I said, we're going to stay with Gohan for a little bit. We have some Ultimate Gohan head sculpts. You have one stylization there, and of course a different sculpt right here. And I believe these are still up for pre-order on... No, they're not up for pre-order on 5K Toys anymore. I'm sure you can find it on AliExpress or something. Of course, I'm thinking that when it actually ships to 5K Toys, they'll have, you know, the leftover stock for the people that didn't complete their second payment for their pre-orders. But, you know, Ultimate Gohan here looks great. Like I said, they produce phenomenal head sculpts. It's just a matter of them dropping, you know. Yeah, this looks dope. And then also, in the same wave, we have the Gohan Black head sculpts, which is awesome that somebody's doing. I just wish we had a better Gohan Black, Goku Black body type. I think that one that we've been getting, it needs some updated sculpt work and updated articulation, you know. But you know, in terms of body molds, I got a whole video discussion coming out on that because it's inspired by something I seen on Reddit. Either way, on to the next thing. I think my favorite head sculpt's gotta be the Gohan Black stuff. But either way, let's go. Okay, so this particular head sculpt right here, my bad for the volume thing coming up on the screen, but either way, this particular head sculpt right here, just as fast as it went up, it basically disappeared. Super Saiyan 3 Vegeta head sculpt by Red Bolt Studio. If you don't know who Red Bolt Studio is, they often work with Kong Studio, Beast Deity, and now they're known as Anime Mythos. The Red Bolt Studio typically does the accessory kits to go with there, much like right here. Super Saiyan 3 Vegeta, just as fast as it went up, it went down. I think I did a community post and it was just sold out. Like, just like the sale situation. I put a community post, people was like, yo, it's already sold out. It's like, damn. But either way, once again, I'm sure this will have leftover stock, and also it's just so much to cover with Red Bolt, aka Anime Mythos. Like, will this even be its own segment? Probably. I should have included this in the Vegeta portion, but I recorded the Gohan portion before this. I want to kind of retroactively do this. Nah, whatever. I'll just leave it in the order that I put it in, what have you. So, yo, right here, yeah. Alright, so basically, we have a tease for Veganks, however you pronounce his name. I've been wanting this particular fusion forever. I've been wanting this particular character to be released, and it's cool, and why not? I agree 100%. Yes, we need this Thousandth Heroes character that people allegedly don't care about, but it ends up getting sold out anyways, right? Yes, we need it over all these characters from the main story, because the characters from the main story are going to be made anyways. It's just a matter of people's patience. Tamashi's going to get to all that shit. A lot of people always, mini rant right here. A lot of people be like, yo, I don't think Tamashi's going to do it. Of course they're going to do it. They made Kui. That's all you need to know. If they made Kui, anybody's going to get made. Right now we're in Diamond Wonderland, and that focus is on Diamond, so it slowed down all that shit from Z. We just getting nailed. So we can finally close out to the Frieza saga. So don't worry about all the Z stuff. That's gonna be made regardless. It's too much money that Tamashii will be leaving on the table. They just moving in the pace that they moving at. Either way, mini rant over. Super excited for this particular release, but that's not all that they revealed. I think the other stuff people will be more hyped about. I just put this shit here because I need to get my hype out of the way. Not to say I'm not hyped about the other stuff, but either way. Now y'all know earlier what I say. Third parties have a tendency to, or whenever there's a third party post about like some type of announcement, they have a tendency to post things and then take them down. And of course, Mr. Box Office right here, you know, definitely gonna get taken down. But here we have the April 1st preview, and yes, they left it up on April 2nd, so yes, this is legitimate. Skull, the wolf god chasing the sun. Now, as we can see in the picture, we know who this is supposed to be. Limit Breaker Super Saiyan 4 Broly from Dragon Ball Heroes. God damn. They announced this so long ago, and finally it's come to fruition. Now this, like I'm sure this will have plenty of people pre-ordering it, especially with the reception that the Broly figure got, the overwhelmingly positive reception. I did see some critiques of the figure, and some of it was valid. I think some of it was blown out of proportion, but you know, if you spend a certain amount of money for something, I could see it. Like, I can understand it. I get it. But it wasn't just this. So for my fan fiction people, once again, pre-orders open summer for both. Most likely because they'll all be in the same wave. Super Saiyan 5 Broly. God damn. Now, I could see this one being the one that's left over because, you know, if you're not into fan fiction, then it's just not going to tickle your fancy. But, man, listen. We on this like stank on shit. You know that. Right? But yeah, this is really dope. Haiti, the wolf god chasing the moon. Or Hati. Maybe I was saying it wrong. Who knows? But, man. Alright, that's enough for me gushing over this. And I think this one, for sure, pre-orders open in the fall. So the pre-order's not going to open for this until the fall. But you already know this release this shit right here, nigga. This release right here, y'all know the aftermarket price for this is going to be sky high. So get your money ready for the fall, whatever little money, if you have a summer youth job, because some younger people, I'm saying younger people like I'm so old, but you know, I know some teenagers watch me according to the demographics, but you know, I think a lot of y'all are either close to my age or my age. I'm not gonna pronounce that. The Death Wolf from, yeah, I'm not pronouncing that. I'm not about to make a fool of myself. But either way, suppressed Super Saiyan Broly, y'all already know. This particular release could have a wave. It probably is going to get a wave of its own. All the different variations of suppressed Broly, or not suppressed. Like you'll have this here with the bluish tint. Then you'll have his the one from Second Coming where he's more battle damaged, but he has a regular Super Saiyan hair. You have one come with the base hair. It's a lot that you could do, you know. That being said, on to the next thing, because I keep on forgetting third parties to include in this. Now, right here, what you see on the screen is an update from the third-party company DKO, and here's their Broly head sculpt that's looking and coming along phenomenally. This will be for your Beast Deities Broly, you know, a lot of people didn't like the head sculpts on that. Well, here you have it right here. This is like a lot of them are, really, they're all fantastic. Most of the ones that I've seen are fantastic. It's just a matter of what art style do you like at this point in time. This looks great. Not more I can say about it. We'll see how long it actually takes to drop. The earrings are a separate piece, just like the Beast Deities. At least that's what I'm seeing right here in this prototype picture. But yeah, this is looking real nice, real nice. Last but certainly not least, we have OC Toys, and here's a look at their Capsule Corp Gi Dragon Ball Heroes Vegito, and it's looking good. Now, this particular one that's on the screen that you're seeing seems like it's going to be the Kaioken Blue version. I believe there's a regular version that without the, the Kaioken Blue sort of, finish to it. And here are all the accessories that you'll be getting with your Vegito, and what can I say? Sheesh! This is good. This is very good. I like this variety of effect pieces. This is awesome. I love it. Love it. And here's another look at it. Now, where is it up for pre-order? Because I'm almost certain that's what somebody's going to ask. Well, one, links in the description will be, it'll be there. But also, really, AliExpress is always going to be the way to go for a lot of third-party stuff. Because for example, right? This particular release, this Kaioken Capsule Corp Gi version wasn't up on 5K Toys, but 5K Toys had all the other OC Vegito bodies or figures, right? Now the pre-order for those is closed. You're gonna have to catch them when they had the stock sale or what have you. But during that time period, this wasn't announced, so who knows if 5K Toys, for example, if you're trusting a 5K Toys, who knows if they'll get them? I could see it being a potential situation where, like, this is just dropped. It's just like an in-stock drop. It's not going to be a pre-order for it. It's just going to be like, all right, this is in stock, first come, first serve type deal, I have a feeling that's what it could be. Now, don't take my word for that. I don't know that to be for real. I don't know that 100%, It could be a thing where it just never appears on 5K Toys, and your best bet is AliExpress. But, keep in mind, shipping from out of the country is going to be very taxing on your wallet, things of that nature. I think I've covered all the third-party stuff that I missed up until now. It's very possible I missed something, or maybe I saw it and I was like, this could wait till the next video or what have you, or next roundup at least. But as per usual, thank you for you guys' immense patience, I know it's been a while since the last video. Don't worry, more videos coming soon. I had one setback that that's a story for another time. I had a little minor setback which delayed this particular video, but yeah, I'm eternally grateful for you guys' support. Oh yeah, so depending on when this video is uploaded, Snook's live stream will either be because I'm a guest on Snook's live stream. That's a live stream tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Or something akin to that. I'll keep you guys posted and updated by way of the community tab section on the channel. But and on Instagram, I'll link my Instagram in the description because I usually don't post news on my Instagram. It's more like toy photography. So if you see something you like, go ahead and give it a follow. If you don't, then don't, Either way, this has been very long-winded. This has been Bombastic Plastic. Stay fantastic. Have a blessed day.
残念ですが、時間外労働です。
Ping pong!
Yeah, so we're doing overtime. So, as you can see on the screen, the re-release of these figures is imminent. The pre-order is going up at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. There goes your price. The price is $65 plus shipping, about $10 each averagely, as they're saying. And the estimated release is 2025 June. It's just a quick re-release. That makes a ton of sense. They already have the molds. They just need to print out more versions of the figure, right? On to the next thing. So this
Ping pong!
This is something right here I completely forgot. So this guy, Articulate Figures on Instagram, go follow him. Is doing this mold for Vegeta, which looks like the best overall sculpt for Vegeta I've ever seen. At least that's released thus far. But as far as I know, I don't know that this person is going to be selling a full figure. It's more like they're going to be selling the file to print out this figure for yourself. And I know most collectors are not going to be willing to go through that process. You know, that is a lot of work. Most people don't want to. Most people barely want to heat up their figures. You know, once they come out the packaging, let alone print it out and have to do some paint work or print it out in the color that you want, and then still have to assemble it and everything. Ain't nobody got time for that. Most collectors don't got time for that. You know. But yeah, that's pretty much it on this. Like I said, this looks great. Looks like the best sculpted Vegeta, like normal Vegeta mold that I've ever seen, at least thus far. Yeah, that's it on that. And one more thing, I think.
Ping pong!
Okay, two more things actually, because I forgot about this. You know, shout out to Kitsune with the watermark. But Neo Kong is apparently saying that they're going to reproduce these figures. And if that be the case, and Kong Studios responds how they did with the Goku release, it could be very possible that they end up re-releasing these just to undercut, you know, Neo Kong, you know, for their namesake. But yeah, that is it on that. That's really touch and go. We'll see how that actually turns out.
Ping pong!
And last but certainly not least, we have a DKO. Sorry for the volume fit popping up on the screen, but DKO Goku Black head sculpt. What can I say? It's Goku Black. We've seen so much support for Goku Black over the years and third party that this is not really surprising. It looks great. For the most part, it wasn't a whole lot of work that needed to be done given the Bardock head sculpt and some of the facial expressions there. But, oh shit, it's one other thing I was about to forget. After this, okay, one more thing after this, and then we're done.
Ping pong!
Whew. Alright, here we go. Last thing. Pre-orders open late April 25? Is that meant to be 2025 or April 25th? Either way, later this month, MYTHOS Anime Wave 2 preview. I don't know why I said it like that, but I did. This is looking like shaping up to be an updated Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta, and Beast Deities Kong Studio has done this in the past. It's on a 2.0 mode, but this looks like something that they're getting ready to do again, and they actually teased this months and months ago that this figure will get redone, and so it's actually coming to fruition. So be on the lookout for that. I'm sure this is going to be a seller. Hopefully this is a nice segue, because I'm sure you can use pretty much this whole upper torso for a Super Saiyan 4 Gohan. Just saying. That being said, this has been Bombastic Plastic. Stay fantastic for real this time, and also I'm hoping to have this up a little bit before the live stream I have with Snook, so stay tuned for that. I'll definitely, like I said, put it in the community tab once that live stream starts. I'll be a guest on his stream, so be on the lookout for that. And until next time, peace.